demonic angel. Today I'm going to hopefully summarize, and maybe I can bring up some new information or key points. I think my goal is to really summarize a case of a missing person, and basically my friend Black Magic Sorcerer, he had asked for my help on this case, and I'll post a link to the original video, and he just said, hey, do you have any more insights? So that's what we're going to do today. The links to my Patreon page are down below. So this is for a missing person named Matthew, and I'm also going to link his, basically it's a missing person poster. I'll see if I can find any more websites or like news on him, because he hasn't been found as of now. So, if I find that information, it'll be there, but there's a link to him. So I think that in summary, that he ended up wandering away and dying of exposure, essentially. I think that that he shed some of his belongings. It might be a couple of layers of clothes, like a jacket, like a watch, a ring, and that had to do with the hypothermia that I believe was happening. I had the understanding that he has been having health issues in the last couple of years that really were concerning to some degree. I mean, everybody thought that he was managing these new health issues. Okay, this is a middle-aged guy, but I think that sometimes this would make him disoriented. And this guy, he had liked to go out in nature a lot. Throughout his whole life, he's a very solitary kind of guy. If he had a wife or kids in his life, I don't think that was something that was really a big part of it, because he's such a particular person who really likes his space alone. So, but I know that closeness with the extended family is really there. And so it's kind of like that feeling of he might go whatever, a little bit of time without contacting people, but he always got back in touch. He was like the favorite uncle. And so he took those kinds of roles very seriously. Like, his extended family really is like his life, and that's very important. So I think that he did have a couple of different jobs that he was very successful at. So this really, enabled him to support himself. And he was just a really kind of a driven kind of person to the degree like that he would just do things, get them done. I think that he would tinker around with things a lot, maybe building things, doing like home projects, because he just wanted to take things apart, put them back together. So he could have even been something like an engineer at some point, but just a really high functioning thinker. But one of the problems that I do think that he had probably throughout his life is, I think that he got depression, like chemical, I think, depression. And so sometimes when this would happen for him, then he would just, stop talking to people a little bit. And I think that he was self-medicating a little bit, probably with prescription drugs. And then there's these like associated kinds of issues, but really none of them are that like there's that avenue of did somebody do this to him? And they didn't. I think there's, you know, things to be looked at through that, as far as, you know, this was a part of his life, and it, you know, it's not exactly clean, but it definitely didn't have anything to do with that. I think that kind of due to his disorientation, I think that he might have like been having diabetes like really bad, and I was really hard for me to tell like if he was treating this. So I'm kind of thinking he might have a love-hate relationship with maintenance medication. Like sometimes he would take his medication and sometimes not. And you know that he had been wandering off a couple of other times prior to going missing, where it was just these smaller incidents that people were aware of, like he appeared a little bit disoriented, even though he went out in the woods so much all those years. As these conditions kind of took their toll, I think that he actually got really, really lost. And it was just something like he thought he was going to be able to find his way back. And then this health issue just really set in, and then, you know, you get the shock. So he shed his stuff as he kept, you know, probably wandering around in circles. And you know, I do think that he probably crawled away from like a main area. You know, it's basically terminal burrowing set in. He lived for a period of time, because I could tell that it was like day and night, changing. But I don't think that he suffered that much, because he was really just like so disoriented. But I think that he's kind of, with people who do care about him so much, I think he's really able to feel that peace that this is, of course, not resolved, because people are totally looking for him. But kind of he's coming to that understanding of what has happened. So there was that confusion, you know, like not too long after he passed away, about what had happened to him. But that is, you know, subsided, and there is that associated peace for him. And I think that he's being able to reach out to his loved ones in these little small ways, that, you know, synchronicities where you think about somebody, just something that's kind of comforting. I think that's kind of this background way that he associates himself with his family. So even though he was a singular kind of a guy, he loved his extended family, and he was very professional, you know, a loner, but at the same time he had hobbies like being a survivalist and you know, tinkering with things. Just a really brilliant guy. He did suffer from depression, and then later these health issues. And you know, I think that he will be found. You know, we always say that when people are found, a lot of times it's around hunting seasons, or sometimes you know, people just out looking for herbs. And that's always, honestly, it's a good thing. These people need to be found. So I hope that's a decent summary of before, or maybe it provides new insights. And I'll talk to you guys later.